So this is going to be a shorter one, and that's because we did a lot of the work on the iOS side already. I went to our UI Basics kit and grabbed the Material 2 screen template that we have there. I didn't choose Material 3 just because I felt like it's still gonna take a while before Material 3 really takes off, and that's because unlike iOS, where as soon as they release it, it's available to like last 5, 6, 7, or how many generations of iPhone there is. For Android, it takes a lot longer, and that's because Android phones are built by manufacturers that are not Google most of the time, unless we're kind of counting Google Pixels and devices like that. So it takes them a while to kind of make all of the necessary updates and all of the things that are required for this new technology to kind of take off and work. So in here, I decided to go with Material 2 still. As you can see, I'm just dragging the elements that we built together on the iOS side and bringing them in here for the Android side as well. And I'm trying to figure out how to create this bottom navigation so that it's more in line with how it works on Android. Again, with time, Android and iOS became more and more similar, so there's not going to be as many updates in here needed as you would expect them just a couple of years ago, where it would take you a little bit more to actually build everything that's necessary for it to feel like a true Android app. I think I'm going to revisit the navigation a little bit more, just because Android is so well known for its colorful headers, but everything else feels like pretty similar to an iOS app. In here you can see me actually kind of doing that. I'm having the title aligned on the left. I'm also aligning the icons to the right, which is something that's very common in Android apps. I've now noticed that I'm using the wrong header because it needs to be light, and you can quickly change that with our UI Basics kit. You just click on the sidebar on the top, on the status bar on the top, and you can switch it from black to white. So in here you can see that I've used kind of a dark green for everything, so I'll just have to switch it quickly into the white one. And yeah, with auto layout that we've built, it's going to be really easy to adjust a lot of these things. I'm just trying to figure out why this one is not responding. And as you've seen with the auto layout lesson, when you're building things, sometimes if you build upon them or like nest them into a different auto layout, some things are going to reset. So in here, I'm just fixing a couple of those details to ensure that I can easily scale the screen as needed. I'm switching this to the white one. So yeah, that should be a pretty good example of screen in here. And one thing that I wanted to do is switch this text into a logo, just keep this kind of colorful background that we have on the other screen as well in here. And yeah, we don't need an icon there. So you can see that even though I basically used all of the same elements, I'm still kind of switching things around. Another thing that's not as common in especially Material 2 is having a lot of these like rounded edges. So I've switched them to a smaller roundness that's more popular with Android apps. And you can see me use native Figma rename to quickly change the name of these screens. And I'm removing the option, the icon on the top right, because it's not needed for the stream screen. And in here, I'm also going to be lowering the roundness of this entire area because it's really not needed on a screen like this to be as big. Yeah, remove the iOS setting, make it 8, and now it feels a little more consistent. Now, one thing that I wanted to kind of maybe do and play around with is like, maybe I can just kind of stretch it from edge to edge so that the entire screen is covered. I wasn't sure if I was liking this, so I just made it smaller again. and maybe instead of black, let's make it white. And I think that's the design that I kind of settled for. Yeah, that should be all that we needed to do to basically adjust the screens that we've already built for iOS when we're working with hybrid technology to make all of the necessary adjustments. And this is going to feel like a native Android app, even though it's not.